If you're a high school or college pitcher that wants to gain velocity, that wants to improve command, and that wants to be the most reliable pitcher on their team, there are 5 things you absolutely need to do. Now here's the problem. Pitchers mainly focus on one piece of the puzzle. Some guys spend all of their time chasing mechanics. Other guys constantly lift weights without improving how they move down the mound. And some pitchers throw all the time but don't have a structure or plan that'll get them to the next level. And because of that, they work really hard but see no improvements over time. So in this video, I want to walk you through 5 things that high school and college pitchers absolutely need in order to take their development to the next level. To give you a quick agenda, these 5 things are optimized mechanics, strength training, mobility training, mental fortitude, and structure. These are the things that separate pitchers who stay average versus ones that make improvements year after year. And if you're missing just one of these, this could be the exact reason you're stuck right now. The first thing every pitcher needs is to optimize their mechanics. Now, when pitchers hear the word mechanics, they often think of copying someone else, moving to get into positions, or just throwing like a robot. Oftentimes, they'll watch a big leaguer and say, I need to throw exactly like that. But that's not really how mechanics work. Mechanics are really about how efficiently your body creates and transfers force in the baseball. Because velocity is created from the ground up. When you throw a baseball, force starts in the ground, moves through your legs, to your hips, into your trunk, then to your arm, and finally into the baseball. If that chain is working efficiently, energy is able to flow a lot smoother and velocity shows up a lot more. But if there is a leak anywhere inside those mechanics, velocity just disappears. That's why you might see 2 pitchers who are the same size, same athletic ability, and same build, but one might throw 95, whereas the other one throws 85. The difference is not effort, rather it's about how efficiently you're able to transfer force throughout your mechanics. Let's take Marcus Stroman. He is only 5'8", but he uses so much force that he is able to store, produce, and transfer that energy, in which that is how he throws 90 miles per hour. Whereas there might be other pitchers that are just the exact same build as him, 5'8", but can't efficiently transfer energy and can't even crack 85 miles per hour. The outlying issue here is that they're not able to efficiently transfer energy throughout their whole delivery. Now, when looking at elite arms, there are movement patterns that consistently happen in every high velocity thrower. These movements aren't about looking pretty, rather they're about creating and transferring energy as efficiently as possible. Now, before I get into this, I'm not saying to copy these big leaguers' mechanics. What I am saying is that there's commonalities within the delivery that show up in every high velocity arm. The difference is how the pitchers actually get to these certain movements. To start, elite pitchers begin with an initial move down the mound. This happens when their center of mass is being shifted in the direction of their target. From there, they load the drive leg by producing force into the ground, which leads to tension being built up in the back hip. From there, elite pitchers are able to use gravity to sink down the mound and ride momentum with an efficient linear move. Next, as the front foot begins to land, the hips begin to rotate, which starts transferring energy forward. Then you'll see segmentation between the hips and the trunk, in which the hips have started to rotate while the trunk is being delayed. That separation stores energy and allows us to release it in an explosive way. Think of it like a rubber band. The more stretch there is, the faster it will release from a stretched position. From there, the lead leg firms up and blocks to send energy up the kinetic chain. As the delivery continues, they complete rotation to send energy fully up to the baseball. Then the pitcher launches the baseball and we see an athletic follow through as well. When pitchers clean up these movements and improve how efficiently they move down the mound, 2 things almost always show up. Velocity improves and you stay healthy. Because better movements create better timing, and better timing allows energy to fully reach the baseball. To move on, the second thing that every pitcher needs is strength training. But the secret here is that it needs to be done with a purpose. Your job as a pitcher is not to become a meathead that just wants to hit curls all day or bench press the highest weight possible. At the end of the day, your job is to throw a baseball at a high level. That means that the strength that you build needs to directly correlate to how you move on the mound. Strength training should rely on sport-specific movements that will translate onto the field. This includes building strength that provides stability throughout the throw. Here are some major points to hit on in the weight room to build strength. Unilateral movements, squat variations, hinging variations, both horizontal and vertical pushing movements, horizontal and vertical pulling movements, and rotation across all planes. When all of these movements are present in the weight room, you can apply the strength as force in which velocity actually shows up. Velocity ultimately comes down to force production and energy transfer. The more force your body can handle, the harder you'll be able to throw. Therefore, building the appropriate strength in the weight room is one of the most critical aspects of pitching as a whole. But your body also needs to be stable enough to accept these forces within the delivery. Think about how violent a pitching motion could be. You're producing a massive amount of force in such a small amount of time. If your body isn't strong enough to stabilize and control that movement, energy starts to leak before it even reaches the baseball. And when that happens, two things follow. Velocity drops and stress is put on the arm. That's why strength training is so important for pitchers. It allows your body to produce more force into the ground, stabilize through the delivery, and transfer energy up the kinetic chain in a more efficient way. But just to reiterate, the goal isn't about being a bodybuilder. The goal is to become strong, powerful, and athletic so that you can produce and transfer energy throughout the whole delivery. The third thing that pitchers need is mobility. The thing is, mobility is often misunderstood. A lot of people think that mobility is just stretching, but mobility is really your ability to move through full ranges of motion with control. Listen, we know that pitching requires a ton of movement. You need hip rotation, T-spine rotation, shoulder mobility, ankle mobility, and so much more range of motion to unlock velocity. And all of these contribute to how well your body moves throughout your whole delivery. And when pitchers have good mobility, they're able to reach certain in ranges that allow them to create more torque and better motion. The more stretch and in range that we can create in our body means the more force production and energy we can store in our body. And when we store that, it releases with high elasticity movements throughout the delivery. And what many fail to understand is that that elasticity is a huge contributor to velocity. Let's call back my rubber band reference. It's the exact same thing. The more stretch that we have, the further it'll go at a higher velocity. But if you're a pitcher that doesn't have mobility to reach those in ranges, the less velocity there's going to be because you don't have enough torque. But the scarier thing about this is that when your body doesn't have mobility, it compensates and it can add extra stress on the arm, which can lead to career-ending injuries. Those compensations lead to energy leaks in the delivery, inefficient mechanics, and once again, more stress on the arm. This isn't about just doing random mobility exercises. It's about understanding where you are not mobile and then performing exercises that exploit those weaknesses and open up in ranges. The more range of motion we can create, the better we move and the stronger we can be. So improving mobility within the T-spine, the hips, the ankle, the shoulder, and everywhere else allows pitchers to move more freely and create energy more efficiently. The fourth thing that every pitcher needs is mental fortitude. I cannot stress enough that you could have the best mechanics in the world, but if your mental game isn't straight, you won't succeed. Pitching is extremely mental. You're going to have bad outings. You're going to walk guys, you're going to give up hits, and you're going to give up runs. Bad days happen. But the pitchers that succeed at the highest level do a great job of falling in love with the process. Now, it's easier said than done, so I'm going to walk you through how to actually fall in love with the process. First, you need to live in the present moment. I'm not saying you shouldn't set goals for yourself, but you need to understand and act upon where you're at right now so that you can achieve those goals in the future. Secondly, and one of the most important things, is to stay consistent. One major mistake that I see pitchers make is when one thing goes wrong, they switch up everything. Whether it's their mechanics, their structure, their lifting, anything. They do this because they get convinced that it just doesn't work, which is not the case at all. So I'm telling you to stay level-headed, buy into the process, and be consistent with what you do. The third and final thing that you need to understand is that at the end of the day, it's just a game. My biggest mistake in my career is that I tied my identity to my performance on the field. What you need to understand is that baseball doesn't define you as a person. Who you are is way more important than giving up a hit or walking a guy. So with that said, if you're only focused on the results, your confidence is going to go up and down all season. But if you focus on the work, the preparation, and the daily process of getting better every day, you'll have no problem in this game, and the results will take care of themselves. Another huge part of mental fortitude is the confidence aspect. Elite pitchers step on the mound believing in themselves and are convicted in what they do. And that confidence comes from elite preparation. When you know you've done the work, when you know you've prepared for the moment, things come a lot easier and confidence rises. And that's truly how mental fortitude is present in every elite pitcher. The fifth and final thing that every pitcher needs is structure. Without structure, development becomes random and pitchers just show up to the field doing whatever they feel like that day. Maybe they throw a bullpen. Maybe they go hit a lift. You never know because there's no structure. But when pitchers follow a structured development plan, everything changes. Think of it like building a house. If you have no blueprint and guess on what to do and what to build, do you think that house is going to be sturdy? Probably not. But if you have a blueprint and a plan of what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, the house will be an absolute masterpiece. This is the exact same thing for pitching, and lucky for you, I'm the guy that can help you with that. Because now you don't have to guess, your throwing plan is completely mapped out for you, your lifting program is planned, your mobility work is scheduled, and your recovery and workload is managed. And because of that, pitchers can stop worrying about what to do and actually execute the plan that is right in front of them. That's when development starts taking off. So I'll reiterate this. If you're a high school or college pitcher that is looking to improve your game and become the best pitcher on your team, you need these 5 things. And like I said before, you have found the right guy to guide you on this journey. I have helped 50 plus high school and college pitchers around the world gain velocity, improve command, and stay healthy while becoming the best pitcher on their team. And these are the exact 5 things that I focus on within my individualized pitching framework. When all 5 of these areas improve together, that's when real jumps are made. You see velocity increase, command improve, durability improve, confidence starts growing, and then you're following a real process. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content about pitching development, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and stick around. And if you're serious about becoming the most reliable pitcher on your team, go ahead and DM me the word pitch at DV Pitching on Instagram, and I'll see if you qualify for my individualized pitching framework. So with that said, thank you for watching, and remember, stay strong.